And I think we are live now. Um, okay, cool. Yay. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think we can stop the music now. No. Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the final pitch. And welcome to the final pitch. So this is the final pitching of the top 5 finalists of the Financing the Future Innovation Challenge in collaboration with PhilDiff Labs and Financial Inclusion Lab. So thank you everyone who's here on Zoom, and thank you to everyone who is here on who is watching through Facebook. I'm sure a lot of our participants are nervous and waiting for their time to shine and for me to put them on spotlight and start their pitch. It's almost the Christmas season, so this is the final hurrah. So I want to welcome our panel of judges who are here, some of the mentors who helped our teams throughout the past weeks are also here. So welcome, guys. Thank you for your support and for your time to be here today. And we also like, of course, to welcome our counterparts at the Financial Inclusion Lab, Sir Elmer, Miss Leia, Miss Chi. They're all here today to and for us to finally conclude these last the last 3 weeks of the Financial Inclusion Innovation Challenge. So we're very excited, I'm sure, to hear all of the pitches of the teams and to hear all of the solutions that came out during the past 3 weeks to promote and advocate for financial inclusion in our underserved communities here in the Philippines. So I hope all of the teams are ready and are ready to pitch and to give it their best. Okay. Now, here to kick off our program and to welcome us here today, I'd like to welcome, not on stage but on screen, I'd like to welcome the head of the Inclusive Growth School of Civica and of the Financial Inclusion Labs, Mr. Elmer Soriano.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Ariana, for that introduction. We're really excited to have you all. It's amazing that all the teams were able to cover so much ground, given that this was just a 3-week sprint, no? And we're looking forward to working with you again next semester. Kasi itong 3 weeks, no, if imagine what you can do if we carry this forward next semester. No, there's so much work ahead of us. The Philippines is facing this COVID and a recession, and the vaccination could take 2 to 3 years. So there's so much work to be done in the area of financial inclusion. Our population, our communities need solutions, even more solutions in financial inclusion over the next 2 to 3 years. And we're really looking forward to hearing your pitches this afternoon for the final 5. But we'd also like to congratulate everyone else, all the other teams who submitted. No, there were really many good ideas, and we look forward to working you next semester. Back to you, Ariana. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. For everyone here, Sir Elmer will also be one of our judges. Matakot kayo, hindi, joke lang. Sir Elmer will be one of our judges later on during the pitching. So now it's been a long, hindi naman long, but it's been a productive past 2 weeks, and I do hope that all of our participants, not just the top 5, but all of our participants were able to learn a lot from our learning sessions to our brown bag sessions to the mentorship consultation sessions that they had last week. So there's really a lot to go through, and it was 2 weeks, so a lot can happen in 2 weeks. Now, just to recap all of the activities that were happening during the past few weeks behind the scenes, I'd like to welcome the entrepreneurship and incubation manager at PhilDev Foundation, Mr. Kevin De La Cruz.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you, Ariana.
Thank you.
A pleasant afternoon, everyone. Okay, so let me just share my slides. Okay, so again, welcome to the final pitch. And I hope you are all settled down and you're all prepared to share with us your respective innovations. So just a recap of what has happened for the past um, 2 weeks. And again, thank you very much for our partnership with the Financial Inclusion Lab, led by, of course, Dr. Soriano. And of course, the PhilDev team, Ariana, you have Sam, our program lead, okay, and of course Adriel and Bella and the rest of PhilDev who's active in making this happen. So before I present a recap, let me just share with you some points that in behalf of PhilDev I would like to share about disruptive innovation. So let me start with this quote by Einstein. Okay, so we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So we know Einstein to be the person who has presented theory of relativity, theories in terms of astrophysics. But in the journey of having developed those theories, he mentioned that indeed, no, we should be able to look at not just solutions, but try to see how can we look at problems differently. So in light with this, so how to disrupt? Meaning for PhilDev, we are actually promoting innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology. So, but of course, no, it's not just those means. No, those are just means. But what are the ends? The ends precisely is disruption. Is disruption towards innovation and development. So how do we disrupt? So the first one is review. So when you talk about review, so pardon me for using some pics for one of my favorite Korean novellas, entitled Startup. So when you talk about review, I don't want to see this as one word. I encourage you to see this as separate syllables. Review. So how do we review the realities that we're actually facing? How do we review the world that we are in? Because through that, now we will be able to see the possibilities. According to, of course, the author of the originals, okay, Adam Grant, he said that if there's deja vu, there's Buja Day. So how do we look at the problems differently? And precisely, that's where we can look at it. That's where we can find a gap that we can address using our own solutions. Then the second one is recalibrate. So with what we've experienced right now in this pandemic, we know that there's a need for us to pivot. There's a need for us to rethink our entire business model, our solutions, our approach, our way of life. But with our reviewing, we have to know how to recalibrate our approaches because according to Einstein, again, we cannot solve the same problems with the same solutions that didn't work. Okay, so we have to know how to recalibrate, even though it takes for us to learn new things, it takes for us to consult other people. I mean, to a discipline that we have yet to explore. And then lastly, run. Okay, so yeah, when we say run, okay, we have to run a prototype, run an experiment. Let's make it happen because we can review, we can recalibrate, but when we don't start it, make it happen even in the simplest form or what we call the minimum viable product. Okay, if we don't start it that way, it will be hard for us to see where we can improve. So in light of that, the way we approach this specific challenge, in making financial services accessible for low-income families in the Philippines. So we followed actually these 3 R's that there's a need for us to challenge our assumptions, to review the reality from the lens of the people we are trying to make solutions for. So we actually started, of course, through understanding and defining. Then we went to ideating, and then we proceeded in prototyping. So for the first week, first set of days, we tried to define, okay, so what's the financial inclusion situation in the Philippines? Meaning, who are those who are not included? Okay, who are those who are the unbanked sector? So what we did is, of course, we assigned facilitators per team to, of course, no, help in the journey of unveiling these insights. And then we tried to engage, no, the innovation for poverty action to provide us with a context of what is the current situation of financial inclusion in the Philippines. And eventually, it led to drafting, given this big of a problem, what will be our focus? What will be our how might we? And then right after, once we developed our how might we, or the problem that we're going to be focusing, depending, of course, on the specific team's skill set, okay, and of course, interest, we started ideating. And in ideating, we had a session with, of course, with the Department of Health, with the Infant and Pediatric Nutrition Association of the Philippines. We engaged them, no? We also had these sessions related to meeting different types of customers, developing personas, so as to refine, okay, is this solution going to be working for this sector to address this problem? Then, of course, we had also shared, okay, we invited Ms. Wilvi Anyora, actually one of the entrepreneurs we've been engaging in PhilDev, to share about developing a business plan. Because we have a technological innovation, we might have that, but how do we translate it into a sustainable model? And then lastly, we're talking about prototypes. So we are now at this time, no, na we already have a specific solution for a problem that we immersed in. So, and with this, no, we had prototyping sessions, meaning sessions wherein we have to practice our pitches, and then we selected from 14, actually 16, no, 14 ideas rather, no. We're now down to our top 5. So congratulations, no, for the teams that we have today. And let me just end, no, this recap, no, with this quote by Muhammad Yunus, one of the pioneers of financial inclusion and microfinance in not just in Asia but around the world. So what he said is, people should wake up in the morning and say, I am not a job seeker, I am a job creator. So our solutions, we're seeking to look for solutions that are not just sustainable, but also empowering to the people that we are serving. Because in the end of the day, all the products that we are doing as an entrepreneur and or services are made to make the client's life better. So there, thank you very much, and hope you enjoy this journey called the final pitch.
Thanks,
Actually, there you
Kevin.
go.
Thanks, Kevin. So yeah, it was a long, not long, but it was a very productive week, past 2 weeks for all of our teams. And this is the final leg. This is the final push for all of them. I'm sure they can't wait to show everybody their solutions, and um from going through prototyping and everything. I'm sure they can't wait to show everyone what they've achieved and what their ideas for the past 2 weeks. So, as my lovely PowerPoint says, it's now. I'm just gonna go through really quickly. I'm just gonna go through really quickly the guidelines for the pitching. All of our participants have already received the guidelines, but just for everyone's sake, each team will have 10 minutes to pitch. That's a maximum of 10 minutes. I will be timing it, and I will be playing a sound. I will be playing um I will be playing this. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah. So I'll be playing that when your 10 minutes are over, and all of the judges have about 5 minutes to pitch. I believe for all of our judges, I believe that there should be a raise hand button. So if you want to ask a question, you can just raise your hand. So you can just raise your hand, and then I can call on you to ask questions. So we have 5 minutes for that. So, and for everyone's for everyone's information, the I'll just go through the scoring really quickly. The criteria that the judges will use to judge to go through the um the teams to go through the pitches. Number one is problem focus. So it is clear that it should be clear that our teams have a problem statement defined and that they have a solution and then it needs to be clear that their solution solves the problem that they've defined, and they have to define a target customer segment. The second criteria is relevance. So they need to fully address the needs of the expected future customers and their considerations. So they have to take into consideration culture, socioeconomic backgrounds, locations, and of course, the relevance of the solution in respect to the problem. Next is the innovative solution. So of course, they need to be clear on how they're going to solve it. Is there a value proposition? Is there something unique about their solution that they've presented? The next is viability. Scalability is very important. As Kevin said, you can have an awesome tech product, but not know how to turn it into something scalable and sustainable. So the viability is more of the valuation into their prototype. Is it viable for business? Is their business model clear? And is it scalable? And then last but not least, just for the final 10 points is presentation. So are the participants, or rather their respective representatives, clear and assertive when talking about your solution and their enterprise? So I just want to quickly introduce the teams that are presenting today, and this is in order of presentation. It's not in order of scores during the previous judging. It's just an order of presentation. First, we have Team House Lannister. Are you here? Woohoo! And then,
Hello.
yay! Okay, great. Next, we have Team Mayani. Hello.
Here.
Great, perfect. Team Metatech.
Present.
Hello.
Nice. Team Fundmu.
Hello,
Got
we're
that.
here. We're here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. And last but not least, Team Spare.
Hello. We're present.
Yay.
Guys.
Great. Okay. So good luck to everyone. I will start timing. You are allowed to share your screen and we will spotlight whoever is talking. I suggest that you turn on your cameras. Whoever's going to be pitching. I will be starting your time once you are all ready and set up. Clear? Perfect. Okay, everyone's so quiet. I bet you guys are nervous. Don't be nervous. It's a final push. As soon as you finish, 10 minutes is nothing in a lifetime, right? Right? Oh, and what's the next slide, please? What's the next slide after this? The one before. There you go. So, all right. We have, of course, our very esteemed panel of judges who are here, and they all have the expertise to, clearly judge on the teams that are pitching today. First up, we have Mr. Eric Toma Cruz. He is a social media entrepreneur with a focus on finding innovative ways to bridge relevant information from multiple sites to the global internet community. He has developed a variety of services, including personalized social recommendation engines for discovery of destinations. His experience also includes providing tools and platforms for schools to effectively reach out and interact with prospective and current students and alumni. Hi, Sir Eric. Hi, welcome. Next up, he was introduced earlier in the event, but I will introduce him again. We have Mr. Elmer Soriano, who is the Managing Director for Inclusive Growth School at Civica Asian Development Academy. As an experienced educator and consultant, Elmer's career has taken him from working with health cooperatives to humanitarian response after the tsunami in Indonesia, public health, technology business incubation, governance innovations, and educational reform. Hi again, Sir Elmer. Next up, we have Mr. Julius Alip, the CEO of Card Leasing and Finance and Corporation and the Card Business Development Service Foundation. That is an accredited SME consultant with 20 years of experience in MSME lending. He's a graduate of Bachelor of Arts from De La Salle University CSB with an MS in International Community Economic Development from Southern New Hampshire University and an MS in Public Administration from the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. Hi, Sir Julius. Are you here? Welcome. I see you. Hello. Welcome po.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good luck po sa mga magpe-present. Thanks.
Next up, we have Dr. Justin Nicolas, who is an assistant professor at the College of Social Work and Community Development at the University of Philippines, Diliman. Dr. Nicolas' expertise lies in human rights group, working with mothers and youth, and organizational development, with an interest in social protection and inclusive planning, among others. Hi. Hi, Doc. Hi. Welcome.
Good luck to everyone.
And last but not least, we have Miss Janie Alfonso. Miss Alfonso started her journey in public health when she joined the Nutrition Council of the Philippines in 2002, where she started her work in community nutrition and food security. She then joined the Tropical Disease Foundation in 2006, wherein her work focused on implementing the Global Fund project on HIV/AIDS prevention. She's currently the program manager of Sea Oil Foundation, the social development arm of the Sea Oil Company, where they pioneer on food security, leadership, and governance program. Hi, Miss Janie, are you here?
Yes, hello, good afternoon.
Hi, there you go. So those are your judges. And we can't wait to hear their comments and questions to the pitches that we hear today. So, are we ready? Team House Lannister, where are you?
Yes, we're ready.
Ready.
Cool. Perfect.
Ready.
Okay, great. I will take myself out of spotlight and I will put Romulo, is it going to be you? There you go. Okay. Are you going to share your screen?
Oh, I'll be sharing my screen.
Go ahead.
Okay, for a while. Is it working?
Yes, we can see it. All right, cool. Good luck,
Okay.
guys. Your 10 minutes starts now.
This is Ate Sao. She is a millennial mother and she's also the family breadwinner. Her salary is just enough to make ends meet for her own family. And however, she borrows money from different sources because she is obliged to help her parents and her siblings. And Ate Sao is not alone. She is one of the respondents which we interviewed from ages 28 to 45, whose debts are not below 5,000 pesos. And given these problems and the anxiety caused by borrowing, this leads to different mental health problems which they have been experiencing as of the moment.
The solution is a financial companion which will lift the unbanked, low-income sector out of debt. Introducing Debt-Free PH, envisioning a debt-literate country. Debt-Free PH is an offline mobile application which aims to aid fellow Filipino individuals and businesses in managing and financing debts efficiently and effectively. We target the SDGs 1, 8, and 11. What?
Hello, welcome to Debt Free PH. To start your journey with us, we would be asking you to create an account which would contain your name, your email address, and your own password. Next, we would be asking for other information such as your region, your city, your contact number, and your birthday. Next, we would be asking you for your preferred language choice, be it in English or in Tagalog. After which, this will lead you to our menu, which would contain all the features of the application. For the loan calculator to work, we need to select all the information available to compute for the loan. So if you have the data on the amount borrowed and the interest rate, this is where you will be inputting them. After which, all numbers will be supplied through this web page, which after would compute for the loan. Next would be the loan strategist, wherein you would be strategizing on your preferred payment of loan. For the loan strategy, you would be needing to fill out the table by putting out the strategy name amount allocated, and the type of approach to be used. And to add debt, need to click Add Debt. After which, you would be needing to supply all the information available, and then click Add Debt to add it to the list of debts. Then there you have it. After which, you would see here which ones or which debts you need to pay for first. Lastly would be the loan list. The loan list will help you to keep track of all of your debts that are paid and unpaid. And that's it for the product demonstration.
So what separates Debt-Free PH from other fintech companies? First, we are in every step of the customer's journey through loan computing technologies offered through our offline mobile app. We also want to provide opportunities for the unbanked sector to access formal loans through loan consultation, portfolio building, and credit scoring. And finally, we want to provide low interest rates to the unbanked sector through ethical lending. Next slide, please.
For the company's business models, our pillars of kaagapay, pagbangon, and pagbabago will serve as our guides in the short, the medium, and the long run. And we believe that to achieve the goal of becoming a debt-literate country, we cannot do this alone, but instead, we will be needing the help of our target market, our key partners, and our beneficiaries under our community reinvestment. If you would see under this presentation here, you would see that all our stakeholders for Debt-Free PH are interconnected, with the target market making use of Debt-Free PH to make sound decisions when paying for debts. Next, Debt-Free PH will analyze this behavior, and once analyzed, the information gathered will be given to non-government organizations, insurance companies, and other financial institutions. By doing such, we believe that we are able to aid them to come up with different financial services, products, and different initiatives that will not only benefit our target market, but also our beneficiaries found in our community reinvestment below.
And so for the revenue streams, the revenue streams of the business will stem from the following. Firstly, for the kaagapay, the revenue sources will revolve around ad revenues up to the freemium revenue model, in which these comprise of 40% of the business's overall revenue. Secondly, for the pagbangon, this will consist of the service fees through loan consultations, portfolio evaluation, and credit scoring, and from corporate trainings and workshops, which constitute 56% of the business's overall revenue. And lastly, for the pagbabago, which covers 4% of the business's overall revenue, the revenues will be sourced to interest revenues from events and from short-term and long-term investments. Furthermore, the business expects to establish break-even in 2.75 years' time, given these revenue streams. Moreover, the business aims to reach 150,000 plus individual users, to collaborate with 90 partner companies, and work together with 250 micro, small, and medium enterprises in a span of 5 years. In terms of investment offers, our potential investors will be offered 5% of our equity for 350,000 pesos.
Our plan of action can be broken down into 4 key segments. The first is to expand our mentor portfolio through hackathons, competitions, and online mentoring sessions. Next, we want to develop an application which is safe and easy to use for everyone. We will be tapping into the expertise of developers for this one. While the application is being developed, we will market and brand the application through traditional marketing methods, such as posters and tarpaulins on sari-sari stores. And finally, we want to educate our potential clients through content making and press releases.
To turn this idea into reality, we are the visionaries behind the said idea. Despite having different backgrounds and despite having different degree programs in college, we do believe that we are the right people because we have the vision for the country to become debt literate. And apart from having this vision, we also believe that our common denominator as a team is that we want to help alleviate people from the poverty line. And that is what makes us the right team for this idea. We envision a debt literate country.
Hence, how will our application help our users? The application helps our users by ensuring access to financial products and services that is people-friendly, most especially to our target market, which is the marginalized sector, thus expanding to firms and HR departments, and eventually individuals and MSMEs. This will not only enable our users to have access to ideal loans and to be more debt literate, it will most especially build a community where we go together with our users in their journey to develop the habit of being mindful of one's debts and guide them in resolving the root of their over exceeding debt. Furthermore, with the existence of our application, it will significantly impact the quality of life of our target market and in extension, the economy itself because firstly, it is easily accessible and is people-friendly with the application's features and modes of promotion. Secondly, it will further stimulate the financial circulation in the economy, given the continuous processing and settling of loans without over-exceeding, as the application promotes. And lastly, it will also involve itself in the gradual process of transitioning to the use of digital financial services in the country by being part of the financial ecosystem that accommodates the low income and unbanked Filipinos. Thus living up to our goal of envisioning a debt literate country that leaves no one behind.
This is Ate Sau. With debt-free PH, Ate Sau wouldn't have to think twice or wouldn't have to worry about which debts to pay for first. With debt-free PH, she can strategize well and she can pay for these at lower costs. And these costs that she would be saving up, she would be able to use this for the basic needs not only of her family, but also of the family she grew up with. And we are debt-free PH. Thank you so much and good afternoon.
All right, good job. Thank you to Debt Free PH from House Lannister. So to all of our judges, I just want to confirm that everyone can see their score sheets and that they all have their score sheets. Cool. Do any of the judges have questions? You can just click your raise. Sir Elmer. Okay, there you go. Sir Elmer, go ahead.
Okay.
Ay, Sir
Yeah, I'm
Eric
just
pala. Sorry. Sorry, Sir Elmer. Sir Eric pala.
okay.
Sir Eric Tomaker. Sorry.
Hi. Yeah, I am just wondering. You set an example earlier that the problem you're solving is someone who doesn't know how to pay their debt, right? Which debt to pay first. Do you consider that as the biggest problem of your target market? Is that you're solving people's priority on what debt to pay first? Is that correct? Do you think that's the
Yes.
biggest problem you're addressing?
Yes, sir. Because upon interviewing our target market, upon doing interviews since January, we've been working on this idea since January. And after interviewing, we've seen that they have that intention to pay and they'd like to pay. It's just that when they try to think of what to pay for first and how to strategize, they tend to panic first over trying to decide well and make sound decisions. And that's something we'd like to address under that PPH, sir.
Okay, thanks. So if they were to run your software, right, how much do you think you can save them? Or what do you think is like you can save them 10% or what is the goal?
That's a good question, sir, because that's something we've tried to assess, though we don't have it in our backup slides. But when we tried to assess, one of the common loans which we found were 5-6, some of the debts were at 10%. And given that if we'll be able to strategize well, like those 5-6 and those from other financial institutions, sir, we are looking into saving them at a minimum of 500 pesos, sir. That's the minimum po, sir.
Okay, thanks. Well, I'm just wondering why you need an app. I could enter it in my calculator, right? 5-6 definitely is a high interest rate, right? So I definitely would pay that first. I'm trying to see what's the hard part to compute. That's why they would need a service like debt-free PH. Can you give me more insight on that?
Gerard?
The application is also a way to consolidate all of your loans and using an algorithm which we will develop for the app. We want to aim at strategizing the payment of these loans, we can the individual can list down all his loans, but then if let's say certain factors come in, such as the emotional factors, sometimes this can be costly when looking at from an objective perspective. So when using the app, we want to be a companion for these individuals and tell them that hey, these loans are actually more important because these are the ones which are causing most of the burden. So this is the main service that the app wants to provide.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sir
Thank you, sir.
Eric. Sir Elmer, go ahead po.
Thank you. Congratulations for the presentation. I'm curious, how did you end up finding each other as teammates? You mentioned you started working on this since January. And if so you're students now, right? If in fact you got investment, how would you juggle working on this along as a startup alongside your studies?
Okay, so to answer that question, that's an interesting question, sir, because being an economics and accounting student, I've been working on research related to debts. In fact, I've been working on papers related to this since I was on my freshman year. So from aside from working on this, I've been doing research related to it, from loans for MSMEs by lowering down interest rates, and um by and, by ensuring, because you can't really the work life balance is not really something I believe in, but more on the work life synthesis. So being able to synthesize what I do in that free PH and being able to learn about it more through my studies, I do think that I would be able to strike a balance between both. And for my teammates, I do think that they are also into the same vision. And if you're curious as to how we met in a business organization. It's called the Archers Consulting Group. So we've been into business consulting. We study on how to help businesses and how to solve problems related to business concerns. So does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, if there are no other... Sir Justin, go ahead. Last question po.
Yeah, so at the end of the, well, when the user uses the app, no? So do you think that they would be literate enough, meaning they will know all the options regarding debt if they use the app? Because that's the problem, right? That's the problem identified.
The app is just the start of the program Switch Debt Free plans to roll out. After the application comes the debt consulting program. And this is where we really want to connect with the consumers through face-to-face or online consulting. So this is like going to a doctor and consulting about what's the best way to tackle your debt and what is the best way to handle your finances. So the app is just the start. And what we really want to do to connect with the consumers is through the loan consulting program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Congratulations to House Lannister. You guys are done. Thank you, guys. Good luck. Good luck. Up next, we have our next team coming up from Team Mayani. Please come on stage. Where are you?
Hey, Ariana.
Hey, JT. Nice to see you again.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. So JT, you'll be pitching for Mayani. Are you ready?
Yeah. Sure.
All right. So your 10 minutes starts now.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is JT. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Mayani. We're here to drive financial inclusion for smallholder farmers through agri-tech. In the middle of last year, we met a guy called Ka Felix. He's about 70 years old, belongs to a family of 10. He has long been a rice farmer. In our conversation with him, we wanted to know more about the hard realities he's facing. And he mentioned two things. One, despite being a rice farmer for the past 70 years, he is unable to sell his produce and his harvest. But secondly, even if he finds someone that is actually willing to buy his fresh produce and his rice harvest, that buyer isn't willing to buy it at a price that would enable Cafelix to recover his cost of inputs and production. We think that this is a problem that is not only isolated to the case of Cafelix, a farmer in Western Batangas, but also a problem that is encountered by millions and millions of smallholder farmers across the country, to the extent that this dismal reality has been reinforced in a quantitative sense by PSA, even saying that a lot of our farmers are self-employed, small, marginalized, and actually belong to the country's poorest of the poor in terms of socioeconomic and financial standing. So what we did for the past 17 months was to actually spark a tech revolution and cover the market access part for the likes of Cafelix. We thought that technology had to play a role to be able to provide fair, efficient, and resilient market access to the millions and millions of farmers across the country. When you talk about, for instance, us helping the Matadi Farmers Growers Cooperative in Quirino Province, all the way in Cagayan Valley. When we talk about helping the Formosa pineapple growers in Camarines Norte, in Bicol region, or even the likes of our Nueva Vizcaya camote farmers and even the rice farmers in Cabanatuan, part of two different large cooperatives there. We never stop, and even at the height of the lockdown, we also help a lot of our Benguet farmers. You probably saw in the news, wherein a lot of them have been throwing around their harvest and their fresh produce simply because no one seems to be buying and no one seems to be willing to step up to the plate to provide market access to what is considered as one of the most vulnerable and marginalized sectors in society. Even as far back as helping the Itbayat garlic organic growers all the way in Batanes, we've helped those guys, and even doing a tripartite multi-stakeholder partnership with the likes of DTI, Grab, and of course Mayani in helping out literally 4,761 farmers and 501 agri-MSMEs in the Cagayan Valley region. All of these things have culminated into us being ahead of the curve when it comes to the Philippine agri space. We're very proud to share that as we speak, there are over 5,000 smallholder farmers already connected with our platform. And a lot of our customers, they have about 6,500. And despite being very young, we already cater to some of the biggest, some of the most reputable and credit-worthy top 1,000 corporations in the country, the likes of Shell, likes of Ayala Foundation, Healthy Options, UCC Group, and the likes. But despite all this, we also saw that there may be some problems again within the smallholder sector that still needs solving. A couple of weeks ago, we won this ADB challenge wherein we rose about 31 countries. And one of the core insights we found out was that market access isn't just the problem and the challenge of smallholder farmers. Access to finance is another thing. So we thought, how do we then evolve the existing platform that we have? How do we harness technology so as to provide broader financial inclusion to the existing sector that we're already working with? And this is where we would like to characterize the smallholder problem in three main ways. One, farmers actually live below poverty line with an average daily income of 274 and no hard assets. Meaning, even if how many POs and orders are coming towards our farmers, if they don't have enough money to actually provide the inputs, the labor, and the production to actually fulfill those purchase orders, then it's going to be very difficult for us to sustain this. The second thing that we would say is that farmers also belong to the least educated workforce among the basic economic sectors. PhilDev Labs challenge has always been about the marginalized and the underserved. And we think that a third of the farmers who actually haven't gone to primary school actually jeopardizes their chance to enter the formal job market and also get those requisite documents that your traditional banks would normally require. Last but not least, a lot of these farmers, being already having an average daily income of below poverty line, have to spread and split that kind of an income on an average of about household size of 6, right? So even if they get a purchase order for tons and tons of ube, for instance, or fresh produce coming from top 1,000 corporations, they would simply have to choose their household over anything else. We think that this is a problem that can be solved. And so what we did was we thought of a solution called purchase order-based production financing, wherein number one, anchored on fundamental elements. It's anchored on the creditworthiness of the PO issuer, let's say Shell, Ayala Foundation, UCC Group, top 1,000 corporations through our Mayani Agri e-commerce platform, not of the smallholder farmer. Because again, the smallholder farmer lives below average income below poverty line, but also lacks the documentation that your traditional banks wouldn't underwrite. Secondly, it's anchored on holistic credit scoring and underwriting through proxy indicators. We think that if we want to drive financial inclusion at the bottom of the pyramid, we have to look at indicators well beyond the traditional indicators that we have. Indicators which we already have in our platform, production patterns, for instance, average yield, or even the cooperative standing in the Mayani Agri e-commerce platform. The third one would be mitigated risk on the part of co-lenders, because our Mayani fund, this purchase order-based production financing, we put skin in the game. That's when we crowdsource the rest of the financing requirements so as to help our farmers fulfill those purchase orders. But what makes us different and really rise above the rest? I feel it's a couple of things. Definitely, we already have an existing platform. Two, we already have a great team in terms of people. We already have massive traction. We already get the POs coming from these top 1,000 corporations. We already have a proprietary process in terms of a high-tech and a high-touch model, and we have very good partnerships with key route-to-market collaborators. Our business model is very simple. We're building a co-lending platform that connects lenders and farmers co-ops who need PO-based production financing. How does it happen? Number one, we get a PO from the likes of Shell, Healthy Options, Ayala, whom we already work with. We pass it on and we match it to the farmers cooperative, let's say the Kasibu Farmers Cooperative in Nueva Vizcaya. That PO is submitted by the co-op for financing through our co-lending platform. That PO is underwritten by the platform, it gets posted, and then co-lenders get to choose the POs to fund or the co-ops that they would co-lend to at a rate of return of 1% per month, right? And then we disperse those funds for production to the farmers so that they can get the necessary seeds, the necessary input, the necessary fertilizer, so as to fulfill that purchase order. Because again, if they would be able to fulfill a purchase order, they'd have to turn it down and not realize the higher rural income. And that's when after they fulfill the purchase order, and then there would be a directional payment coming from the top 1,000 corporation, so as to mitigate the liquidation and the settlement risk. We're not talking about something out of thin air here. We're talking about something tangible. We're talking about real POs. Here are live examples of the POs we've already received from the likes of Ayala Foundation by the metric tons, or even the likes of Amici for metric tons of uve. We've even went as far as doing wireframing already of the platform, wherein the purchase orders that would be matched with the farmer's cost would be uploaded on a co-lender dashboard, and the co-lenders would have to choose which POs to fund, which co-ops would be getting it, and which co-ops would be fulfilling the purchase orders. What I would like to emphasize is that we're very, very specific. We don't want to be everything to everyone, right? In terms of the competitive landscape, we feel other players may have done great already, but we're going to be going specialized when it comes to the kind of financing we'll be doing. We're doing PO-based production financing, which is very specific and not catch-all. But at the same time, we're not crowdfunding everything. We're putting skin in the game, and then the rest we would be crowdfunding through like-minded partners who want to help our farmers fulfill those purchase orders. We're very proud of a global team that has about over 50 years of management experience in e-commerce, back-end development, even agriculture and law, right? So one of our co-founder is actually a chief farmer himself for over 30 years. But then again, a lot of guys here are pitching. So why Mayani Fund, right? First, we already have an existing track record of success, right? In portfolio of top 1,000 corporations who can place the POs. We already work with them. Secondly, we already have pre-vetted community smallholder farmers co-ops that can serve as infomediaries and risk mitigators. We know that the role of the community in mitigating risk is very critical. But thirdly, we have a solid multisectoral DNA. We have done this already with DTI. We already have existing partnerships. This is something we can leverage. What we want from PhilDev and Financial Inclusion Lab are actually very specific, time-bound and identified. Platform co-creation, beta launch by June 2021. Technical support in terms of underwriting parameters, augmentation, alternative credit scoring, and of course, the mentorship and the support that we'll be getting from the rest of the ecosystem. This is our Gantt chart. This is CAFELIX. We believe we should harness technology to drive financial inclusion for the most vulnerable sector called our smallholder farmers.
Thanks, JT. Right in the nick of time. Good job. Do any of the judges have questions or comments? Feel free to raise your hand. Okay, Sir Eric, go ahead.
Hi, JT.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, hello. Yeah, I just have a question. So that example you gave again earlier, that what's his name?
Felix.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
expect him to have a smartphone and run your app, and then he will apply for it's a loan, right? Or like I need a loan.
That's right.
You think they are sophisticated enough to do that? They also need data access, right? I feel there's a hurdle there, right? That assumption, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Great insight, Eric. In fact, I've always believed that the holy grail of any agri-fintech solution has always been heavy adoption at the bottom of the pyramid. And this is the reason why in our business model, we've wanted to connect co-lenders and farm co-ops, not just individual farmers, because we think that an organization composed of multiple members, like smallholder farmers, like the Kasibu Farmers Cooperative in Nueva Vizcaya, would have a higher propensity to adopt technology and be more open to it because of the communal capital that they have. If we get the consensus of a community, for instance, like a cooperative, right? And then the cooperative would be able to cascade to its members that, hey, now you don't have to turn down purchase orders. You can have higher incomes because financing could be available. Then the adoption, there's a higher incentive for the adoption to happen.
Okay, and most farmers are part of co-ops. You're going to be thinking they're part of. I'm just wondering what percent of them are part of co-ops.
Well, this is something, or organizing is something that is highly encouraged by government. We understand that not a lot of them are still members of cooperatives, but we want to focus on cooperatives precisely because of the risk management part, but also because we want those organizations to serve as rallying points for us to onboard farmers. If people see that their lives are getting better because they became members of co-ops, then that would encourage farmers to become members of those co-ops too. If people don't see value in it, they probably wouldn't join.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Eric. Sir Julius, I believe you are raising your hand.
Yes, first of all, it's a great presentation. Yeah. I just have a few questions, no? And
Sure, Julius.
I just want to know if it's okay. What's the average sales per month and what's the average OPEX? If you can disclose it. If not, just give me a range.
Sure. Average OPEX right now is at about 125, 135,000 per month, right? The average order size, well, I can base it on the previous month alone. We have moved about 15 metric tons just last November. So let's do an averaging of an average crop price of about 50 pesos. So that's 50 pesos times 10,000 kilos, right? So those are, and 70% of our volume actually come from, again, POs coming from top 1,000 corporations.
Great. Yeah. Sorry, last question from
Sure,
me.
Julius.
What if we have a group of farmers? They have this produce, and assuming it will fit into your requirement or from your, if it fit your requirement, the quality, are you willing just to market their produce? Since I do believe that you will be getting from interest, plus you also have a trading margins for that.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Are you willing to do that?
Correct, Julius. Those two things aren't necessarily requisites to us engaging them. In fact, we started out with the providing access to market, and just now we're moving from strength to just provide access to finance too, because we saw there's a tangible underserved need for it. But if you do have, I understand card leasing and finance works with a lot of community-based associations and interest stakeholders. We definitely more than happy to provide market access for them. But then again, there's always that scenario, the financial reality we're in. If the orders get too big, right? If the orders get too big, what if they don't have the capacity to fulfill those purchase orders? That's when Mayani Fund will come in.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Julius.
All right. If there are no other questions, thank you so much, JT, for that great presentation. Thank you to all of the judges who asked questions. Moving on to our next team, Team Metatech. Where are you? Are you here? I see her. Hi, Bea.
Hi, we're here.
Hello.
Hello.
Cool. Are you gonna be the one pitching or
All of us will do the pitching. They're coming in. Yeah, they're here.
All right, great. I see them. Okay. Feel free to share your screen. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't be nervous. You'll be fine. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Today, we want to share two stories from the underserved sectors. First, we have Mang Ernie. Mang Ernie is a fishbowl vendor in the busy streets of Quezon City who earns 700 pesos a day. With the hopes of escaping poverty, he occasionally spends 75 pesos from his daily earnings to participate in the lottery, since his co-street vendors do it as well. Next, we have Aling Linda. She sells Tupperware as a source of income for her family. Since her income is unfortunately just enough to meet their daily expenses, she barely has any savings in case of emergencies. In the hopes of growing their money, her retired husband plays mahjong regularly. So what do they all have in common? Most underserved Filipinos lack the willingness to save. They have no bank accounts and are uneducated financially. On top of that, their gambling addiction further damages their finances. BSP revealed that only 4 out of 10 Filipinos have savings. Out of those 4, only 32% put their savings in banks. They have no savings in case of emergencies like disasters or hospitalizations, especially during this time. Next, SWS revealed that 53% adult Filipinos have at least one gambling activity. 37.7% of that is lotos, and the rest are illegal gambling like hueteng, card games, and mahjong. PCSO tried to replace this with small town lottery with the objective of eradicating illegal gambling, but its suspension may lead gamblers back to their illegal ways.
What if we could tackle all these problems? The problem of underserved Filipinos like Aling Linda and Mang Ernie having no savings is alarming. But can we blame them for their bad practices when it is against human nature to adopt healthy habits? Bad habits such as gambling, which offer instant gratification, make saving less appealing, despite being the safer and better habit. Now, what if we make saving money more enticing and turn it into a no-risk lottery game? Want to know how? Meet Pigo, where saving is made fun. Pigo is a prize-linked savings mobile application featuring a base interest rate, just like any savings account, but with a no-risk lottery system. This solution plays with human psychology, allowing Filipinos to save more and divert their gambling addiction into financial literacy, which will benefit them in the long run. The idea is to reinforce the habit of saving by adding the lottery mechanic to ease the transition of gambling habits into good ones.
So, what else does Pigo offer? Users sign up to make a savings account with no minimum maintaining balance. They get free lottery tickets for every 10 pesos in their account on a weekly basis in order to get a chance to win up to 4 million pesos. The money is saved in their account and not used to buy a ticket so that Mang Ernie can keep playing without losing profit. So, if you don't pay for a ticket, where does the prize come from? Well, high interest from the money saved in accounts are pulled together, a portion of which is given to the winners of the lottery. The rest is split among the users. Prize insurance will be availed should the money exceed the pooled interest. So, Pigo is made more accessible with verification and notifications sent via email and text message to accommodate those with poor internet connection. Lastly, we offer a free ticket good for 1 week to those who can answer correctly the question of the day, giving incentive for people like Aling Linda to continue learning about saving. So this is what the app will look like for Android. We plan it to be a React Native app run on AWS services, namely S3 buckets for images, PostgreSQL on Aurora for database, and Amplify and AppSync for deployment and hosting, and a few other services. So a similar application in America called Yoda has shown success in making the lottery or prize link savings more known, highlighting its game-like features over the traditional bank setting of prize link savings. This type of saving has been in the UK since 1956 under the name of premium bonds. It's been successful even without the extra step of highlighting the game-like features. Over 30% of the population has an active account.
In the status quo, Filipinos, just like Mang Ernie and Aling Linda, are struggling in adopting healthy habits, financial habits, and there's obviously that gap among the underserved access to financial literacy. That's why we wish to bridge that gap with Pigo, the application that aims to spark change on how the underserved Filipinos value savings and their finances. Moreover, Pigo, or through Pigo, banks will get more access to money since the money of the application is linked directly to the partnered bank. Users will also have a chance to win big money on a weekly basis. Users will also learn the financial basics, such as how to save through a reward system, which was stated earlier. Now, Pigo is not just your ordinary savings account. We want to bring behavioral change to society and the way people view saving through gamification. For underserved Filipinos to be exposed in handling finances and banking in general, since the app is low literate friendly. Users can select their preferred language or dialect so that they can learn the basic financial skills more easily. Users can win also big money by saving more money. Technological advancement is also key in driving our purpose into reality, which is why there's an AI based tracking system on how much a user has saved and will be able to save based on the trends. So, accessibility, convenience, education, and technological advancement are our drivers in making Pigo a success for the underserved Filipinos. We want Mang Ernie and Aling Linda to have fun, to learn, to understand, and to enjoy the financial services that we will offer. The deployment of the app using AWS will cost an estimated 1,700 pesos a month with a one-time fee of 25 US dollars for the Google Play Store. 700 pesos will be allotted or needed for the S3 buckets and database, while 1,000 pesos will cover the API, the server, and the other updates. The estimation for these costs was based on research of the available services of Amazon and other companies. However, these costs may still subject to change upon review and evaluation of a more secure and cheaper backend services for the application.
We have plans for partnerships with making Pigo accessible to everyone, such as the use of PesoNet and InstaPay. We also want to partner with a PDIC insured bank where it will hold the integrity and security of the finances. For example, Land Bank, where banks will get more access to money and users will be encouraged to open accounts with the partners. The users may also continue to utilize the services of Pico's partners. Our app can be further developed by improving the overall data handling, application security, marketing, and the transaction speed. To summarize the sustainability and scalability of Pico, we'll be serving the underserved by providing them easier access to financial services, be more available and enticing to a more diverse set of users by having the app developed for other operating systems like iOS and the website, to garner more partnerships with other companies and organizations to further develop the app by adding more features, hence making more financial services available to the users. And lastly, to promote financial education by implementing artificial intelligence-powered courses within the app. So with Pigo, Mang Ernie can now save the money he supposedly uses for Lotto into the application and get a chance to win a huge prize. On the other hand, Aling Linda can now save enough money in case of emergencies and can develop better financial habits. This is the behavioral change we want to develop among the underserved Filipinos. This is Pico, saving made fun.
All right. Good job to Team Metatech with your very cute logo, Pigo. I like that. All right. Okay. Any questions from the judges? I am now opening the floor. Feel free to press the raise your hand button. I would like to compliment the matching backgrounds also. Sir Eric, go ahead po.
Hi, hi. Interesting concept. I'm just wondering, guide me if I got this right. So the interest rate or part of the interest rate will be used to pay for the prices. Is that correct? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Okay. So and you're also going to give part of the interest to the person saving money, right? Is that also going to happen?
Oh, so we're gonna have a fixed rate for everyone else.
Okay. So is it like half the interest rate, market interest rate will go to the person and half to fund the prices? Do you have, I'm just curious about the number.
At the moment, it is at 0.2% base interest rate for everyone. And then the Lotto will be accounting for the rest.
Okay, which is how much about for the?
About 1.8% to 2.8%.
Okay. Okay. Just one question on this. So I'm not too familiar with small town lottery, no? Like the prices they give. I don't know what the amount is. How much deposit do you guys need to create the 2% interest rate that you can fund the lotto to match the prices that are given by the current small town lottery? Because that's your competition, I assume, right? You have to be just as appealing, right? For them to switch over or something close, right? Does that make sense? My question.
So we're not actually trying to replace a small town lotto. We're trying to complement it as a way to entice more users to stop illegal gambling. But at the same time, we want them to open savings accounts. So we're using lottery as a means to entice them to open a savings account. So what's gonna happen is,
Okay, so so you're not competing then. You're saying this will go hand in hand. You're not taking users away from that, or I'm just curious, what is the goal really? Is it just
Well,
part of that? Yeah.
well, to add on what Ryan said, in lottery you lose the money you bet, but with Pigo, the more you save, the more you can earn the money, and you don't really lose it. Unlike the regular lottery here in the Philippines, the money that you spent on the ticket will go to your savings account, and they have savings in case of emergencies like disasters, which is very relevant in the Philippines. We have a lot of typhoons, we have a pandemic going on, so people really need to value savings.
Okay, so is it competing or not? I just need an answer. Or are you trying to convert people, or you're not trying to convert?
We're trying to convert their bad habits into better ones.
Okay, okay, thanks. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Sir Eric. Sir Julius, go ahead po.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I just have two questions. The first one is, are you going to ask for service fee from the banks for the onboarding or conversion of clients who will deposit? Okay, that's number one. The second one is, when will this break even? Thank you.
Anyone? Guys, did you hear the question? Were you able to hear the question? Hello.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
I think the first sir, could you repeat the question po, Sir Julius?
Um, yes. The first question that I have is, because you've mentioned that you're going to partner with banks, right? So my question is, is onboarding and conversion of depositors will also be part of the revenue model? That's number one. The second is, do you have a break-even plan? I mean, how many years will this break even for the company itself?
Alright. So for the first, yes, there's a possibility for transfer fees, but since this is just a conception stage and we'll still be needing further study, we'd like to consult more on finance and legal terms when coordinating with banks for the partnership. Um, and for the second question, um, mm, uh, same reasoning for the first. No, we don't have a clear break-even plan, but there is a chance that the the app will be self-sustaining by a year based
Okay.
on the percentage of users and winners.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think it's still a very nice concept. I mean, what you have. Congratulations. Thanks.
Thank you, Sir Julius. Last question from Sir Justin. Go ahead, po.
Yeah, so just would like to inform everyone that my students in social work models are also in the group, no, and we have a separate chat, and they're also trying to comment. And one of them commented that it's good that Pigo has different dialects, no, in their apps. And I also like to comment that I think it's Metatech who included a peg, no, by citing Yota as one example, no. I'm just curious. So in the lotto, you win like every day. I mean, there's a lotto draw every day, no? So someone who's a lotto player would be expecting that. So how long would an investor in Pigo expect to, receive something? And also, in order to fund that, do you have a trust fund or an investment arm who would juggle the funds so that it would, cover the amount for the prices? Yeah.
Hello. Yes. So we are planning to do that, but we have no partners as of the moment, and we're planning to get prize insurance for the prizes that are too much for the interest to sustain. So we're actually looking for more mentors and more partners to support this goal. Our vision of including more Filipinos financially.
All right. Okay. Great. Were they able to answer your question, Sir Justin?
Sort of.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Meta. You can all breathe now. And we just have a few more teams. We're down to the last two teams to pitch. So I hope everyone's excited. Team Fundmu, are you here? Is that the play on Admu? I just needed to ask.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, so Team Fundmu, are you feel free to start sharing your screen?
All right, thank you.
All right, cool. Are you
We have
ready?
another group member po that
Oh,
needs to
okay.
Oh yeah.
we have another group member po.
Can I get his name?
Daniel Del Rio.
There you go. I found him. There
Right.
you go. There he is. Okay. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Great. So your 10 minutes starts now.
Having quick and easy access to financial resources has become the standard to be financially included here in the Philippines. However, with the pandemic and typhoons raging in the Philippines every now and then, accessibility and resources often get affected. Now it's time for the Philippines to have an innovative solution that promotes financial inclusion and accessibility. And in order to do that, we need to go back and empathize. Now we first started asking ourselves with this question: who are we innovating for? Now meet Francisco Mendoza. He is a 38-year-old Filipino living in Marikina City as a family driver. He earns an average of 22,000 pesos. Now, on his day off, he actually went to the Pag-ibig branch office and spent 3 to 4 hours applying for a loan. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, lining up may have doubled the time in applying for a loan, which would cost him around 6 to 7 office hours. Now, Francisco's problem is clear. How can I apply for a loan when the current process to get one takes me 5 to 6 hours now?
On the other hand, let's meet Gregorio Reyes. He is a 35-year-old Pag-ibig branch head of Marikina and he hopes to help thousands of Mariqueños. However, if 450 people flock to his offices because of a recent typhoon, he can only accommodate the first 100 customers and would ask the next 350 to leave the premises. Gregorio's problem is clear. How can I solve the pain points of my customers at an affordable cost? Long lines not only waste time, but also productivity and money. So whether you're like Francisco or Gregorio, our problem is clear. How might we innovate the archaic loan processes of financial institutions amidst the pandemic? Both personas are reflective of the current socio-economic conditions of the country. When disaster strikes and people's homes are ravaged, it is important that the disenfranchised sectors gets the hold of cash to rebuild their homes, to put food on the table, and to simply survive. Many resort to borrowing from SSS and Pag-ibig because these institutions provide unsecured personal loans to calamities. Although, when you go to social media, you see posts where people wait for many hours under the sun just to submit loan application processes and even face the possibility of being denied entry because of the operational carrying capacity. This is the narrative of millions of Filipinos per loan transaction. In fact, this is such a problem that this is the top 9 Google search for the Philippines this 2020 that was released 2 days ago. Imagine top 9 Google search, how to apply for a loan. From a business perspective also, this bottleneck in application transactions serves as a huge opportunity loss kasi pinapaalis nila yung 350 people and the hallmark of inefficient operational processes. Furthermore, it is stipulated in the corporate charter of SSS that they are to provide equitable social protection through world-class service, and we want to help them achieve this KPI. But how? Now presenting our big idea, Identidad. Identidad is a cloud-based platform that automates and digitizes the traditional financial processes by pipelining documents to expedite the evaluation of creditworthiness. No need to go through the traditional process of lining up and experiencing bad service. Using a device's camera, people are to take pictures of financial documents such as ITR, payslip, birth certificate, etc., which will be then saved into our cloud database. This information is pipelined to the financial institutions such as SSS and Pag-ibig, which will evaluate the loans and determine the line of credit of an individual. Furthermore, we have inculcated features so that the whole system can be accessed remotely without the need of internet via printed QR code.
Now, whenever Francisco or any other Filipino experiences a disaster or emergency situation, he can then apply for a loan through the web application Identidad or through the kiosks placed in the Pag-ibig office. Then, he can upload all his necessary documents, and afterwards, Identidad will translate this data into something more digestible through image processing. Thus, the assessment of underwriters and credit evaluators is streamlined. Now, because the web application can be accessed through the computer, mobile phone, or even at the Pag-ibig office, the loan application and processes never felt this easy to use by Francisco and easy to install by Gregorio. Now, through Identidad, we can help provide world-class service to the underserved. Now, there are about 34.2 million SSS members and 17.1 million Pag-ibig members, yet SSS only loaned out to about 1.2 million members last year. Now, in the past few years alone, predatory lending, which does not offer change on payments, has a record of declining loans in times of calamities. Now, clearly, Filipinos are in need of credit. Our year one conservative estimate will have us servicing 6,450 Filipinos a month, or just 5% of the average number of loans the SSS processes in the same amount of time. This comes out to 77,400 loans in a year, and by the second year, we'll be aiming for over 83,000 loans. Now, by putting reputable lenders in arm's reach of the Filipino, Identidad will be able to curb predatory lending, improve the servicing of those in the current system, and make credit more accessible to all.
So how does this all work? The user starts out by registering for an account, inputting relevant details about themselves that will be needed for the loan request. After registration, the user can access the website through an individual QR code made just for them. They will be prompted for their mobile number and a passcode to lock their account safely and securely. The app's dashboard contains the user's profile and their list of financial documents, and they'll be able to upload their documents here so that the app can use optimal character recognition to extract the relevant information from them to be included in the loan requests. Lastly, Identidad will also list a variety of lending services that they can avail of. They can apply for a loan solely through the app, which will then send requests to the specified financial institution. Once they evaluate the loan internally, the app makes it easy for the institutions to give their verdict on the loan. The user can then find out the status of their loan right after the institution evaluates it through the app.
Identidad can be easily accessed through any device that has a browser. As shown prior, sending a loan application and evaluating it can be done with only a few clicks and a few snapshots using your phone camera. All these are possible because of the product's ecosystem of external, well-established and specialized APIs handling the QR code generation as well as the OCR to extract the text from the documents. By using external APIs, we can further expedite the development time, as we won't have to develop our own algorithms to accomplish such complex tasks. For the safety and verification of the user, Identidad will make use of SMS verification for extra layers of security and authentication, especially as our primary user base widely uses SMS on a daily basis. For instance, if a user forgets their passcode, the app will allow them to reset their passcode as long as they enter a one-time PIN sent to them through SMS. Lastly, for the ease of use of our financial institutions who are evaluating the loans, the product's ecosystem will also include dedicated microservices for them, whose primary purpose is to efficiently parse and store loan requests that will be piped to them.
How do we keep this business financially sustainable in the long run? Simple. We get 10% from the interest rates of each loan. To reiterate, 5% of our total addressable market is already 77.4 thousand Filipinos. Thanks to the technology available, leveraged through careful consideration of service providers, we were able to keep costs low per user processed through our system, resulting in a profit margin of 55% or 105 pesos per user. The prototype of 1,251 pesos will be used to kick Identidad off by testing our service on 200 to 300 people in financially laggard municipalities. We will be seeking 1.6 million pesos to realize our dream of making loans more accessible to Filipinos. We will be able to help Filipinos save a total of 334,000 hours of waiting in line by reducing the number of hours from an average of 6 down to 2. Each hour spent in line is another hour that they could have been at work. By reducing lines, storing customer data, and automating financial processes, we can help the country adapt to global standards of operation and business efficiency. We are expecting to be profitable by the end of the first year. In just a year, with your help, together, we will be able to earn 12 million pesos, which reflects 77,000 Filipinos who had a better time dealing with lenders, avoided predatory lending, and financial inclusivity for everyone.
Now, every Filipino citizen should have a dignified and convenient access to apply for a loan. Identidad is able to innovate the traditional and old-fashioned processes of applying for this loan, and we aim to transform these processes by creating scalable, innovative technologies while promoting financial inclusion and innovation. So what's the future for Identidad? Here we can see the various opportunities presented to the market we're targeting. Through the use of emerging technologies, we could then scale our business in the long run. Now imagine what Francisco, Gregorio, or anyone can do when given 4 to 6 hours of free time. With Identidad, it's time to create shared value for all. It's time to dignify and innovate the future of financial processes and operational efficiency. Thank you. And we're now open for questions.
All right in the nick of time. Good job, guys. Congratulations for finishing your pitch. I am now opening the floor to any of the judges. If they have any questions, feel free to raise your hands. I appreciate. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, just a clarification on the problem identification. We're trying to reach the lower segment of the population, no? Okay,
Yes.
so do you think that that segment would have easy access to your proposed app?
Josh, maybe we can go to the permeation of smartphones in the Philippine market. That's right. Okay, so as of currently, we have the penetration rate of smartphones in the market is 65%, and it's expected to reach 77% penetration by 2025. But we understand this problem po. We understand that people needs internet connection and also parang technical capability in terms to use our technological prerequisites. So we have inculcated a QR code function also. Josh, maybe we can go to that. So yeah, once they set that up po, yung QR code function, they are able to access this remotely. And yeah, we understand the limitations, but through this QR code, through the QR codes generated, this one, we would try, we would, it would be more transcendent. Like the solutions are more transcendent.
There's another reason why we opted to
But
use.
maybe we can add to that.
Oh yeah, this is another reason why we opted to go for the kiosks in partnership with our partner institutions, so that it could also be accessible through their office, but at the same time, it's also faster to do these processes na.
Okay, thanks guys. Thank you, Sir Justin. Sir Eric, go ahead po.
Hi. Yeah. Let me just understand this fully now. So you're gonna have an app that will list the different institutions like Pag-ibig, SSS, and other financial institutions that are offering loan. Is that correct? It's a one app for all those partners. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh yeah. For now, we really mentioned SSS and Pag-ibig because they're our first targets for this. For this idea because we believe that it could benefit them the most. But another thing is the scalability we mentioned a while ago. We're open to partnering up with financial institutions as well, but for now, we're really zeroing in on SSS and Pag-ibig alone.
Okay, thanks. So, do you have an idea? Sorry, go ahead. Okay.
These are the institutions po that provide unsecured personal loans.
Okay. Do you just have an idea of how hard? It's a big assumption to partner with Pag-ibig or SSS, right? How to make that deal happen? Are you confident that they'll be open? Because I would assume they might have their own plans too, right? How to make it easier, right, etc. I'm wondering about that.
Josh, maybe you can go to the slide where what if SSS and Pag-ibig don't accept our proposal?
Yeah.
So yeah, yes po, no. We understand that this might be like a huge barrier to entry also for the technology or for the business because parang it's hinged on the idea na SSS and Pag-ibig would accept our proposal, but we would try to also utilize yung PacPay by Manny Pacman, and because I believe that the institution that he's trying to build is financial inclusion also. And then we heard that Union Bank is also really big on fintech, so maybe we can streamline it. We can propose it also to Union Bank fintech.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Right now po kasi like we okay.
Go ahead. It's okay. You can continue. You have time.
Okay, right now po kasi we believe that financing in itself, like if we were to finance it ourselves or we would evaluate ourselves, it would transform into a different business model. So we would be like a micro lending company na, which is different from the direction that we want. And yun nga, parang we don't have the initial capacity to do so as of the moment.
Okay, so if there are no no other questions, thank you to team. That is the end of our question and answer portion. Thank you to team Fundmu for your presentation. Thanks, guys. Last but not least, we have our last team to pitch. Team Spare, are you here and ready? I
Hello,
see you.
Ariana. Yeah, we're here.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
There you go. Feel free to share your screen. And is there anyone else who will be on Spotlight with you?
I think Mark Joseph Torres, Joshua Bascos, and Josh Rojas is here.
Cool. All right, great.
Ayun. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Okay, so you can start. Your teammates, for in order for them to be spotlighted, they need to turn on their videos.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, you can start your 10 minutes.
Okay. So a pleasant afternoon to everyone. So our startup Spare is a digital piggy bank. So our solution aims to solve two problems. And the first problem is that cashiers have insufficient funds for change to give back to customers. So according to Republic Act 10909, otherwise known as the No Shortchanging Act, wherein business establishments or merchants get penalized when they can't give back the exact amount of change. And the second problem is that 77% of Filipinos don't have bank or savings accounts, with 60% saying they don't have the necessary requirements or documents to set up a bank account, and with the 60% saying they don't have enough money to make savings. That is why our saving culture, which is piggy banking or pag-aalkansya, is widely used in our country. So with this, Filipinos have the highest number of coins per capita, and it's not good for the economy and the financial system. So because of this, our country's coin circulation and reproduction is affected due to shortage of coins and the cost to reproduce our new coins worth 773 billion pesos. So since we all know that this COVID-19 pandemic has affected a lot of aspects in our lives, a lot of people will need extra savings, of course. So our solution to those problems is the Spare concept. So we want to connect point of sale systems to our mobile application. It's a platform for eliminating loose change. And the idea is for customers to pay with cash and digitize their loose change to increase their savings. So here's a sample video demonstration on how our system works. So assuming that a customer is buying at a convenience store and is paying with 500 pesos cash and has a change of 344.50 pesos. So upon checkout, the cashier inputs the products bought by the customer, inputs the cash tendered, and then chooses the amount to spare of the customer. So it's either the full amount, the 344.50 pesos, or just the loose change, the 44.50 pesos. So in this scenario, the customer chooses to save his money into the Spare app, the 44.50 pesos, or just the loose change. So after the transaction, a receipt will be printed out with a Spare QR code, and the QR code would already be the value of the chosen amount to spare of the customer. After that, the customer or the Spare app user can log on to their accounts, and click scan code, and simply scan the receipt to receive the QR code to receive the spare change. So as you can see, the 44.5 has already been received by the user. So there you go. So Spare is an app with several functions. So since we are only to operate as a closed loop system for our MVP, it could receive the spare change, use the savings for payment, the transaction history to keep track of the transactions they make with merchants, and the stores to for them to know our participating merchants, and featured ads to show or to showcase and display the stores of the merchants into the home screen of the app. So features to be integrated in the future are the gamified daily quest. So an example for this is save 2-digit amount daily or save 3-digit amount daily. and many more quests to be brainstormed in the future. In the future, so this feature will help entice the Spare app users to save more money. And the wish list wherein they could search for products from participating merchants and use them as benchmark on for them to know how much they should save to be able to buy that specific product that they want. And given the opportunity that we will be accredited and licensed by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, users can cash out their savings and use bank transfer to transfer to their main accounts and offer them good interest rates in the future, given that we will have partnerships with banks. So our value proposition for our customers are convenience and, of course, increased savings. So our business model has two customer segments. So for the Spare app, whenever a user chooses to spare their loose change or their change into the app, we charge for a convenience fee. So also bank transfer fees, cash out fees, and ads. So if they have accumulated enough savings already, they could use it to pay to merchants, and then we get 1% transaction fee from their business. So our target market for the system are MSMEs, shopping malls, fast food chains, convenience stores, groceries, school canteens, and basically pay-as-you-order establishments. And for the Spare app, of course, the unbanked Filipinos and also the Filipinos with bank accounts but would just want to increase their savings. So our competitive advantage is that we are a digital piggy bank and it is a micro savings platform and hopefully in the future an investment platform as well. So that is all. To the field dev team, financial inclusion team, to the panel, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be part of this program. So I'm Patrick Balahadia, the founder and the project manager of Spare, along with my partners, Joshua Bascos and Joshua Rojas, who are the engineers, and Mark Torres, who is in charge of the sales and marketing. So below are our contact details in case you want to get in touch with us. So to everybody watching and listening, thank you and may God bless you all.
All right. Thank you, Patrick, for your presentation. Now opening the floor to our judges. Feel free to raise your hand for any questions. If there are any, I will. Okay, Sir Eric, go ahead.
Sorry to keep asking questions. Do you consider GCash and PayMaya as possible competitors? Because it's looking like an e-wallet, right? What you guys are doing.
Yes, sir. So that question has always been asked to us. So our main target really is for users to use this app to be a savings app. And the payment feature is just like it's the least feature that we want users to use. Because we really want to focus on this being a savings application and hopefully in the future become an investment platform as well.
Okay, thanks. Would you need an EMI license? Because it's like an e-wallet, right, that you can cash out.
Yes, sir. So we've already consulted on legal matters for this. So our what they've said is that we should operate first as a closed loop system. So instead of it being a money, it could be considered as credits at first since it's just our MVP. And hopefully we could partner also with Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas for us to be accredited and licensed for us to fully operate as a EMI.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Sir Eric. Sir Justin, I believe has a question.
Yeah.
Yep.
First, can you restate again the problem that you identified?
Okay. Sharing the screen again, Sir Justin. So this is the first problem, sir, is that cashiers have insufficient funds for change to give back to customers. And this one, the 77% unbanked.
Okay. So you mentioned a feature that for those who have bank accounts, they could transfer their savings to their bank accounts. But
Yes.
but what if you get those 77% who are unbanked? Where do they transfer their savings?
I'm sorry, sir. Medyo nag-choppy po.
So if you target that 77% who are unbanked, wala silang bank account, di ba?
Yes,
So
sir.
where do they transfer their savings?
Sir, so we really want this to be like their stepping stone bank account. So as much as possible, we would want them to utilize the app instead of uh, transferring it to other accounts. So they could use this kasi to already save and then already pay to participating merchants. So I hope I answered your question, sir.
Pero walang interest, no?
Sir, for now, since MVP pa lang po talaga siya, wala po pa talaga as of the moment, but that is already our future plans, which is to partner with banks para sila po yung mag-handle ng interest rates na naiipon po from the application.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sir Justin. Sir Julius, you had a question po?
Yes. First of all, maraming salamat for the presentation. Isang question lang, what's the game plan in acquiring users?
Bro Mark?
Hello, sir. Good evening. For now, we're trying to actually we did a survey, and then we also we are also looking at going to personally to the merchants to have our own ecosystem so that if they understand how Spare works, and then the customers will just also come in to use the app, sir. So ayun, sir. We also have the meron na po kaming uh mga like 100 merchants that we are looking at 1,000 customers who will use the Spare app. So yun po.
And sir, just to add, we're also planning to use social media ads and user referral feature within the app.
Okay. Thank you very much po.
Thank you po,
Thank you po.
Sir
Thank you, sir.
Julius. And thank you to Spare. And that's it. Congratulations to all of our pitchers tonight, or I guess this afternoon. Congrats and thank you guys for really putting effort into the pitches that you created and into the solutions that you created really in the past few weeks. So again, congrats. Thank you to our panel of judges. I believe now the judges will start going into the breakout rooms for their deliberation. Yes. So Sam, I made you host, so feel free to create the breakout room whenever you want. And to the surprise, I think, of all of our participants and the teams that are here today, there you go. We are going, or I am going to host a little thing called the break room while our judges are in the break room or are going to the break room. I will call on some of our teams and participants and just ask them a few questions as we pass the time while deliberation is going on. So, who are your tributes? Who are your tributes? I'd like a representative from each team to kind of join me. I will put you guys on spotlight. Just let me know. Just raise your hand. Press the raise your hand button.
Okay.
If you're the okay, yeah, there. Just press the raise your hand button if you are the designated tribute for our little talk show called aptly named The Break Room with Ariana Salazar. Thanks to the comms team of PhilDev for creating a title for that. Okay, I have someone from Fundmo. This isn't going to start. You're gonna have to suffer with me talking until I get a representative from every team. I know it's going to be JT for Mayani because he's here. So JT, can I request that you turn on your video? Are you there? Hi, King. Are you okay? Are you nervous?
Hello. Yeah. No naman. I feel ecstatic.
All right, great. We like people who feel ecstatic.
Bakit wala yung camera ko? Bakit ganun? Tingnan mo nga. Ayaw ng camera ko. Ayaw, tingnan mo.
Lance, you're not on mute. There you go.
Sorry. I'll be representing Mayani, sorry.
Okay, great.
The problem with my video, sorry guys.
No worries. Okay, so we have someone from House Lannister, from Fundbu, from Mayani. We just need someone from Metatech and from Spare. Who are your tributes? There you are. One more team. Spare. Si Patrick. There you go. I see Patrick. Cool.
Hi, sorry Ariana. Medyo ano lang ako, bathroom break. I'm sorry, anong gagawin natin?
Alright.
Kinabahan kasi ako eh.
It's all right. Those are things that we didn't really need to know, but it's all right. Cool. We're great. So hi everyone. Good afternoon. How are you guys feeling? Okay naman? Able to breathe? Gosh, you're all
Yes.
guys. You're all guys. All right, ladies. We need some more we need some more diversity in this. But it's all right. It's okay. So I wanted to ask first, and feel free, anyone is allowed to jump in. If you don't want me calling your name, just start talking. Why did you choose to join the challenge? I'm going to call names. Okay, you would rather I call names. Romulo, I see you raising your hand. Are you raising your hand?
No, sorry, I'm not raising my hand. I'm just.
All right, but since you're talking anyway, so I'll just ask you, why did you decide to join the Innovation Challenge?
I actually decided to join the Innovation Challenge with my teammates. It's because I find the Innovation Challenge something that's very encouraging and it's very motivating, especially the topic of financial inclusion is something that we in the Philippines are like in the spotlight topic of the given the situation. So I wanted to join with my teammates to explore it out, and yeah, here we are. So I'm grateful for it.
Well, you made it to the top 5, so that's great. But are you all interested? I just wanted to kind of get a consensus if you are all really interested in financial inclusion in particular, or is it just entrepreneurship and creating solutions, or is it all of the above? Let's say, go ahead, Patrick.
I think it's all of the above.
Okay.
Actually, me and my team, we really felt a purpose for our idea.
Okay.
Actually, we found, hindi naman found out, we had this idea back in 2018 pa. So we worked on it, and then we were supposed to really test this out in our university, sa UC, University of the Cordilleras. We tested out no March, and then we were all ready to deploy full blast sa canteen sana namin. But then COVID-19 happened and the lockdowns. So ayun, and then we had an opportunity to see your post from the, I think, Field Dev or Financial Inclusion Labs.
Okay.
So we saw this an opportunity to pave the way for our idea, and we're really passionate about solving the problems that we aim to solve. So,
Yes.
yeah, that's it.
Great.
Thank you.
That is just proof to us and to everyone out there that Facebook marketing works. All right.
It does.
It does, right? It does. Everyone, at least in the Philippines, right? Because everyone's on Facebook. I just need to ask, how many of you are doing this for the first time? Are pitching, joining a challenge like this? You can just raise your hand, like physically.
Oh, for me, it's my first time. Yeah,
Me
it's my
too.
first
It's
time.
my first time.
Okay, so the two of you, Romulo, it's not. And Patrick. I know Mayani, it's not. But I know Mayani, it's not their first time. But it's your first time. And how does it feel?
It was really exciting. And then
I don't know. It's
Sige, si
Yes,
Joey.
go.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really exciting since it's my first time, so it's something new. It's a new experience for me. So I definitely I'm interested in joining other hackathons. So since my group and are engineering students, so we really like to get this experience. This is something that we'll be doing in the future once we graduate. So we'll be
Okay.
solving problems. Yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes, we are all about creating more entrepreneurs in the Philippines. How about you, King?
it feels very pressuring pala. Like being in the spotlight and then having to speak data facts, yun lang. Parang, pero being a management student, kasi I'm taking up management, parang I feel like I have to learn this soft skill, like properly communicating, ganon, getting your point across. So I feel like this platform is a very effective channel, like to form that soft skill. So yun, I'm really happy na I was able to showcase ganon. And the talk on financial inclusion kasi is very close to my heart.
Oh, wow.
Share ko lang, nag-overshare.
Go
Share ko
lang.
lang,
Okay.
like my parents kasi, we work in a construction site. So yun, so there are days na parang nagsa-site visit ako, natutulog ako actually sa construction site namin. And I get to like talk to the people talaga, like, oh, ano balita sa'yo, ganon. Oh. Kasi there are people na mas bata pa sa akin, like 19 ganon. Parang sinasabi ko, oh, pagtapos nito, pag-aaralin kita. So parang ganon, yun nga, the talk on financial inclusion is really close to my heart then. Kaya yun nga, parang joining PhilDev, it's able to hone my soft skills, and it also parang it's in the same direction where my heart is.
Yes, where your heart is.
It's
talaga.
overshare.
Yes, I love it. Okay. And let's go to Lance, whose video still isn't working, but it's okay. You can just turn on your microphone. So, Mayani is, I guess, a veteran when it comes to these things. But why did you guys join again, or join a challenge again?
Yeah, we're very familiar with PhilDev, and we've been, very happy to be joining again for another, hackathon or whatever you want to call it. Syempre yung finance is another aspect that we want to look into. So we've been focusing on marketing and operations about helping farmers, but then we want to extend this help in the financial side of things. So yeah, we saw this hackathon as an avenue for us to be able to expand our knowledge and be able to be mentored and coached by great people from PhilDev. And thanks.
Great. So yeah, so I hope that you guys were able to, really experience the whole experience. From mentor sessions to the learning sessions to all of that. You all attended. I think you all attended your mentor consultations, if I remember correctly. And I hope that was really helpful. I believe also some of our mentors are here. Some of our mentors are here, and I might decide to put them on spotlight later. just for fun. But okay. I really wanted to ask also, what did you get from this experience? I'm just gonna go round robin. What did you get from this experience? What did you learn about entrepreneurship, about social entrepreneurship, about financial inclusion in general, or just like, business model, or what is your biggest learning? Anyone can start, and then I will go from there. Or I will call names. Okay. Go Lance.
Sorry.
What are your biggest learnings? What are your biggest learning from this whole experience?
From this whole experience, gosh, there are loads of learnings that I was able to get. But top of mind is that there are very young, bright students now that I see who are very capable of, uplifting our finance tech here in the country as well. Syempre, of course, it was JT who was, with the mentoring and all of that most of the time. But seeing the pitches of all these students is very makes me excited about the future of our fintech.
Yes, I actually agree. I think, if you want to put it into numbers, I think maybe about 80% of the whole participation of all of the participants are all students. So that's really exciting that students are into entrepreneurship and really into, not just entrepreneurship, but really creating solutions for nation building and for the country. How about you, King?
Okay, for me naman, it's like harking back to what I said a while ago. It's developing soft skills nga. Kasi di ba, like in this day and age, parang you have to work remotely. You have to work at a time na you don't get to see your team members. Ganon. You don't even get to see like you guys what do you guys yung sponsors or like the mentors also. So like for me, parang it was able to form parang soft skills like developing discipline, developing proper communication also, and also in the side naman ng like tackling the business itself, like you have to go to their shoes, like you have to parang go through their shoes talaga like access. That really made us more empathetic. That really made us parang have have a wider view on the landscape that we're experiencing right now.
Great. Yeah, and as a management student, are you graduating? No, not yet. Or graduated?
No,
No,
I'm
not yet.
graduating.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, as a management student, the soft skills that you're talking about, pitching business models, yes, you will need that for for your fourth year. How about Romulo?
So for me naman, I think I can classify it into like the small version first and then the extensive version. So for the like the smaller version first. I believe in this experience of joining PhilDev's Compet. I believe that it's really important to like to also like learn how to master talking, pitching, and as well as researching for information. And it's also important that aside from like treating this as a like where you present ideas and you challenge other people's ideas, and what matters is like you get to work well with your teammates and you learn from each other, and at the same time uh you also learn from your fellow competitors in the challenge. And for the broader part, it really for me this experience really showed to me that there is really like a big future for financial inclusion, and it's so quite extensive and it's so vast that there are a lot of opportunities out there. And that's basically it.
Thank you. Okay. Our judges are slowly coming back, but I'll still give Patrick and Joey a chance to answer.
So I guess.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I guess for my experience, maybe as a team, our experience as a team, since some of us it's our first time joining the hackathon, so it's really it's a good feeling. So we're also already we're also proud that we were able to come up with this. I noticed that most of our competitors are already established. They they have been studying their pitches for like a year or so, and we were only have a few weeks, a few days to come up with this idea. So yeah, and then for me, I guess I think my take on this the hackathon is that I was able to learn a lot about finance. So I'm not studying finance in college, so it's something the in-depth learning sessions was really useful for me into pursuing a career, maybe career related tech finance, something like that. a career related in tech and finance.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Hopefully you go into financial inclusion. Um, and if you think about it, actually, a lot of hackathons. This is just really an ideathon, right? But a lot of hackathons are actually mostly 24 hours. So what you guys can accomplish in 3 weeks is amazing. Last but not least.
Um, so what I learned from the learning sessions is that there are really a lot of problems, especially here in our country, and that there are a lot of problems to be solved, and that solutions are unlimited if we just really look into the problems that is really occurring now lalo na nagka-COVID and all the other problems that we are experiencing. So yeah, that's it. There's a lot of solutions. We just have to do them and execute them properly.
Great.
So yeah, that's
Yes,
it.
that is true. That is true. And again, the solutions that you guys can come up with within just 24 hours is already great. What more if you have 3 weeks, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year of incubation, and you guys can really lift off and really push through with financial inclusion. So thank you all to my lovely tributes for volunteering yourselves for this on the spot question and answer. I believe don't worry, I will now take you guys. I will take the pressure off of you guys. And I will take you off of spotlight, and I will now share my screen because we are about to announce the winners. We are about to announce the winners. But before we do that, while I have everybody here, can I request that everyone turn on their camera so we can take a lovely group photo just while everyone is still here and does not leave because we've announced the winners already. Just if everyone could just turn on their cameras. So there are 2 pages. So just keep smiling until I say stop. All right. Cool. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone. Okay, smile. Ready? 1, 2, 3. One more picture. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys. Thank you for turning on your cameras. I will send this in the Facebook group later on. But now I will share my screen. Hold on. There we go. There we go. So we have now come to the announcement of winners. Let me just go through a recap of the prizes. Let me just go through a recap of the prizes. Again, thank you to Sea Oil Foundation. Miss Janie is here, and she was a judge also. Thank you to Sea Oil Foundation, who was a part contributor was a part funder of the prizes that we have for today. And this is honestly a great start. A great start to any of your solutions, to any of the solutions that you have. So thank you, guys. Thank you to Sea Oil Foundation for supporting this event. So we have first our second runner-up. May I invite Miss Janie to come on screen? Miss Janie, are you here to announce our second runner-up, our third place winner?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Miss Janie. Kamusta po? How was the judging experience?
Very interesting. Very different from my world. So I've been into social development, particularly health. So financing is something very new for me, but then it's an essential part of a society to be able to be fully developed. It should be an essential part. So I was given the task to announce the winner for the third place of our financing, the Future Innovation Challenge. Do we have a drum roll? Drum roll, please.
Go ahead.
And our third placer goes to Spare.
Woo!
Team Spare.
Congratulations to Patrick,
Yay!
Joshua, and Joshua, Team Spare for winning third place. Thank you, Miss Janie. Thank you, po, and thank you to Sea Oil Foundation for being here today.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yay! Okay, up next, I'd like to call on Sir Elmer to announce our second place winner, our first runner up. Hi, Sir Elmer.
Hi, everyone. So,
Hi,
the second place goes to Team Metatech.
Woo!
Congratulations. Woo!
Congratulations, Team Metatech. How do you feel? How do you guys feel? They're not here. Na-shock sila.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Thank you po.
We're so happy.
Very unexpected po.
You.
And last, but definitely not the least, may I call on Sir Eric to announce our first place winner. Hi, Sir Eric. So what are your thoughts po on the teams?
Great. It was really great to be a judge tonight. I don't know if people know I'm also an entrepreneur, so it's nice to be on the other side, right? And I hope I wasn't too mean with my questions. I just wanted to go deeper into what the problem and solution was. And drum roll for the first place. And the winner is Mayani.
Woo! Congratulations. Congrats to Mayani for winning. Yes, I see Joseph is here.
Thank you.
First place. But congrats, of course, to all of the teams. Congrats to all of the teams who were able to pitch today, to create their solutions. Good job. I know it wasn't easy. I know that it was a long 3-week journey. But I hope you guys were able to learn something, and I hope that you guys, win or lose, you take solutions further, because that's really what the point of this is that we encourage solutions towards financial inclusion. Masaya siya. and we encourage innovation. So again, this also, I believe, includes incubation with the Financial Inclusion Lab. Am I correct, Sir Albert? Yes.
Yes, that's right. We're inviting the teams to participate in our phase 2 in the second semester. So starting January, we'll reach out to you, and we have an interesting program lined up for you.
Yes.
For all of the teams, in fact, yeah.
Yes, to all of the teams, not just the top 3, not just the one who won. So,
Right.
So this is really to hope that your solutions go someplace, right? So that is really the point. So thank you, Sir Elmer. Thank you to Financial Inclusion Labs. And now, to close off this program, this event and this program, we have a special message from the co-chairman and founder of PhilDev Foundation, Mr. Dado Banatao. All right. While we call Dado, while we call Dado and get him on screen, I just like to again congratulate everyone, to thank you to Sea Oil Foundation. Feel free to unmute yourselves and tell us your sentiments on how you feel about, especially, and later tell me your sentiments later. Go ahead.
Good evening to all. On behalf of PhilDev, I would like to first thank the Financial Inclusion Lab for collaborating with PhilDev on this exciting program. We thank you for the passion you put into this Financing the Future Innovation Challenge, and for sharing your expertise with our participants. Sustainable and significant impact only happens through collective action. We are grateful to have you as a partner in the fight for financial inclusion in the country. I would also like to give a big congratulations to the winners and to all the teams that participated in this innovation challenge. It is always inspiring to see young budding entrepreneurs put their talents and efforts towards solving our nation's most challenging issues. In the Philippines, disasters, both natural and man-made alone, can significantly affect a person's access to financial resources and services. The innovations we saw this afternoon are the kind of solutions that can help our nation. When we work together to find solutions for greater financial inclusion, we support communities for getting out of poverty. So again, I send my warm congratulations to all the teams and winners of this innovation challenge. The solutions that you worked on for the last 2 weeks are only the beginnings of entrepreneurship. I hope you continue down this path and put your passion in supporting our underserved communities. PhilDev is proud to support your entrepreneurial endeavors and innovative solutions for the benefit of the country. Thank you once again, and we look forward to continue working with all of you.
All right. So as Sir Dado said, this is only the beginning of what we hope will be a great journey for all of our young entrepreneurs here. And we hope that you continue to invest in yourselves and in your solutions, and that you continue to push for financial inclusion in the country. So thank you guys once again. Have a great night. Have a Merry Christmas, and congrats to all of the winners. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everyone. Merry
Thank you,
Christmas.
everyone.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Good
Thank
job. you, everyone.